بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أيها الإخوة المسلمون, brothers and sisters, inshallah, during the month of Ramadan, we will have daily reminder about the ahkam, the rules of fasting, the fiqh of Ramadan, the etiquettes, the manners, the conditions, the pillars, the requirements of fasting. Inshallah, this will be around 10 minutes reminder, inshallah. I hope and I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He allows us to fast, to keep us alive in good health during the month of fasting, so we can benefit from this month. Today, inshallah, we will talk about the obligation of fasting and the evidence, the proofs, the adillah that fasting is wajib, is compulsory upon every Muslim. And also we will talk about upon whom fasting is obligatory, those who are required to fast. So fasting is an obligation. It has been legislated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Allah said, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu kutiba alaykum as-siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. Fasting has been prescribed upon you just like it was prescribed on those who came before you. And the reason Allah said, la'allakum tattaqun, so that you attain piety, taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the wisdom why Allah legislated fasting is so that we become close to Allah, we become true servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So by fasting, we show the extent of our love, our servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We enslave ourselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because Allah is our Sayyid, our Lord, our Master. So He tells us to abstain from eating and drinking from dawn to dusk to sunset, and we obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why fasting is one of the things that Allah loves the most. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْ. Those who witness and see the moon, the crescent of Ramadan, they must fast. They must observe fasting. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, it's only few days, it's not long. أَيَّامًا مَعْدُودَاتٍ. أَيَّامًا مَعْدُودَاتٍ is a limited number of days. Fasting is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. The 3rd pillar of Islam is fasting, as we all know. And our Prophet ﷺ told us. And there are many virtues and blessings of fasting. And the next thing is, upon whom fasting is a requirement, is an obligatory. Number 1 is every Muslim who has reached the age of puberty and who is mentally fit and physically fit. So from this we understand that those who are the children who have not reached the age of maturity, they are not required to fast. Those who are mentally not fit, they have insanity or they have mental issues, they are not required to fast. Those who have physical weaknesses, when they fast, physically they will harm themselves or their health is compromised. They are not required to fast. Those who are traveling, they are not required to fast. The women who have monthly cycle or who just gave birth to a child, they are not required to fast, but they have to make it up during the year. So fasting is a requirement for every Muslim and who has reached the age of maturity, the age of puberty. Now the question is, what is the age of puberty? So in Islam, the age of puberty is not 15. It's not fixed by age, it's fixed by signs. Once a child, a boy or a girl, once they see one of the signs of puberty, then they are required to fast. And the signs of puberty are many. One sign is enough. So if the boy or the girl, if they discharge semen, for example, or if they have hair on their private part or on their armpit, then they have reached the age of puberty, even if they are 11 years old, 12 years old, 13 years old. Once the girl has monthly period, she is legally required to do all the obligations of Islam. She is legally accountable and responsible and liable for any misdeeds. So even if she is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, once the boy has deep voice, a manly voice, then they have reached the age of puberty. Another sign is when the boy or the girl, they have sexual feelings to the opposite gender. So most of our youngsters, if you ask them, because they are well fed, they eat so well, they eat 5 times a day, 6 times a day. If you ask them, when do you develop sexual attraction to the opposite gender? When do you find the girls to be beautiful? Some girls are beautiful, some girls are attractive, some girls are not so attractive. If you ask them by the age of 11 or 12, they have these feelings. And Allah mentioned this in the Quran. He said the Muslim women, they should cover up, they should put on their hijab when there is a child who have sexual attraction. أو الطفل الذين لم يظهروا على عورات النساء. When the child is tempted by a woman who doesn't have hijab, then Allah said the woman should put on hijab when they are in close proximity with that child. So sometimes you have your cousins, you have your distant relatives, their children, they come to your house, and you see the boy, he is 12 years old and he has deep voice. He has broadened hips, the shoulders are broadened, and we think he is underage. He is not 15. So this misconception must be removed. 15 is the maximum age. For example, the children who are poor, who are destitute, physically they don't grow up so quick. So those children, we will tell them that when you reach 15, you have reached the age of puberty, even if you don't have any signs of puberty. So 15 is not for anyone. If a child has the signs of puberty before 15, they are accountable. And the parents should tell them they should fast. They should pray 5 times a day. You should not tell them that they are still young. They must fast. And if they have exam, if they have PE, if they have exercise, if they have sport, all these are not valid reason. Another condition is that the person must be muqim. So if you are traveling, you are not required to fast, but you have to make it up during that year. You can fast and you have to make it up the days that you have missed. So fasting is a requirement from any Muslim who is resident, who is not traveling, who has reached the age of puberty, who is mentally fit, physically fit, is not sick, then they are required to fast. Those who are ill, those who have permanent illness, they are not required to fast, but they must feed a miskin, 1 miskin per day. 1 miskin. They must feed 1 miskin in a day. So 30 days they feed 30 miskin. They can feed in one go, or they can feed 1 miskin, or they can send the money to someone who needs it, and they must ask them to feed every single day. Those who have temporary illness, they will wait until they get better. Once they get better, they must make it up. So during the winter, fasting is very easy. You can take your suhoor at 6 o'clock, 6 a.m., and you break your fast by 4 p.m. So it is easy to fast during the winter, so you make it up. If you have temporary illness, if you are sick and it's not permanent, then you should not feed a miskin, because you are required to fast and you have a whole year to make it up. بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن العظيم وجزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم.